What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Learn Crypto. Tonight we're doing something a little different. I'm going to be chilling with at DGB Chillin, Josiah Spackman, the DigiByte ambassador of New Zealand. We have no idea what we're going to talk about. If you want something a little more professional, make sure to check out my interview with Josiah Spackman. We talked a lot about the present and the future for DigiByte, as well as a little bit of the past. It was pretty good. I had some pros and cons. He addressed those, and you guys can make your own opinion on that. So I guess we'll just kind of get started. If there's any, new developments with DigiByte going on since that interview, we can talk about that, be a little bit serious here for a second before we just kind of BS about cryptos.
Yeah, man. Well, one of the things that we've been talking about, so you got on the iOS beta.
Yes, I did.
And that's
check out that video too, guys. Josiah hooked it up, and here at Learn Crypto, we actually did a beta test of the iOS wallet for DigiByte. That's pretty cool. It's a little short 5-minute video just showing what their developers are really working on, and hopefully that comes public here soon for you guys over on the iOS.
Yeah, man, that was a great video as well. It was really cool. So I think we ended up even sharing that from our main Twitter channel and everything too. It was really good.
Appreciate it. Do what I can, Josiah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. One of the other things that we've been doing is we've been working on DigiID. I started tweeting a little bit about this yesterday and things. It's still very, very early days, but it's something that the team have basically kind of picked up with and really started to run with now that we've effectively gone and we've got our other development bounties out the way. But yeah, so this is something that I'm super excited for because the implications for it could be massive. It's really cool.
Now, we talked a little bit about that in the interview, but we didn't go into real details on that. Do you just want to kind of talk about a few use cases that might be useful for in the real world?
Yeah, so I think I summed it up a little bit where I basically said, wait, what did I actually say? I basically said, right, so imagine if you're going to go to sign into a website, but instead of having to remember a username and a password, you scan your phone on the screen and that's it. There's no having to remember anything. There's no lost passwords. There's no worries if the remote party happens to get hacked, like happens with, LinkedIn or Kickstarter and all that sort of jazz. So this is the same cryptographic security that keeps all of your coins private. And we're basically using it now for authentication. So you could use this to log into a website. Say, maybe one day you could log into Facebook with it. You could use it to log into a VPN provider. You could use it to gain access to a building as well. So the whole kind of overall sort of framework is very flexible. And I really hope that we're going to see this take off and have a variety of different use cases.
That's pretty cool. So I know we don't talk about price, but would the DigiByte token itself, the cryptocurrency, actually have a value proposition with DigiID? Like, would there be a membership cost, or would you have to use it to interact with it, or have you guys not really got that far with it?
Yeah, so the whole idea is that we don't want it to cost anything. We don't want especially with us looking at Venezuela and what's been going on there, where they basically earn a penny an hour sort of thing. We don't want you to have to pay every time you use it and swipe it, and each time it costs you a fee just to log into a website, for example. So although it's not going to cost you anything, you've got the wallet, and if you've got the wallet, you might as well use it for sending and receiving DigiByte. And same thing we're looking at, so if you go to let's say, for example, a WordPress website, you can sign in with it. You can then also potentially buy and sell goods using that same login details, again, using your DigiByte. So we've got some really cool stuff happening there. It's going to take a little while, but
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I did an interview as well with James Lovejoy from Vertcoin, and he's kind of working with MIT on a lit box. So it's like a modem for the Lightning Network, and they kind of have the same situation. You don't really need Vertcoin to interact with it, but they did make it, so it probably will still be a good outlook for the cryptocurrency in general, for speculators and whatever else, so.
Yeah, that was a really cool interview. I like that. And I like what they're doing with that whole lit box idea as well for them to interface with the Lightning Network. I think it's probably going to be one of the better ways, I suppose, of interacting with Lightning, because you've got to be online. Yeah. And so if you go offline, it's obviously going to be bad. And so they're
kind of almost like creating a modem is how he kind of described it. You know, it'd be something that's just like hardwired into your internet modem, and you know, hopefully your internet doesn't go out for 48 hours or more. Otherwise, you might be in a little trouble. You might need to, you know, cancel out all the networks that you got going on. But
yeah, exactly. It's actually really interesting as well. So I looked into the statistics for the Lightning Network. On average, so I think there was something like, I think they said there was 16,000 users or something, or sorry, 16,000 open channels. The average channel is apparently only worth like, I think it was like $12 or $14 or something. Like,
I feel like a lot of people are interested in trying to test it out, but obviously there's still security issues with it, and I wouldn't want to be risking a lot of money. Now, it'd be cool to open a channel, play around with it, but as of now, I'm not going to be moving Bitcoin over that or anything.
No, exactly. Well, I don't like, one of my personal hang-ups with the Lightning Network is I don't like the idea that basically like your funds are there and they're locked up. Like that's it. They're not going anywhere. They're stuck, reserved with the Lightning Network. So if you've got that payment channel open, you've basically got to rely on somebody else also having that payment channel open, or otherwise, if like, let's say I wanted to send you some Vertcoin, but you didn't have a payment channel open with the Lightning Network, I've either got to convince you to open up a payment channel with the Lightning Network, or I've got to pull my Vertcoin off the Lightning Network to then be able to send it to you. And I would rather just, you know, you've got Vertcoin, I've got Vertcoin, or you've got DigiByte, I've got DigiByte. I'd rather just be able to send it to you.
Yeah, use a mobile wallet or whatever they got going on.
Yeah, and especially with the whole kind of unbanked side as well, or the developing nations, or even things, again, like if I go back to Venezuela, they're not going to want to have to lock everything up in the Lightning Network. And if they're doing it like predominantly mobile, it's going to be an interesting one, because they could go offline for, 48 hours and poof, there goes their channel. They've got to then pay again to reset it up and everything. So
I definitely think it's an interesting idea. I think it's going to take time for it to be actually usable and scalable and whatnot. But it's still positive. I think some people overhype it. I'm sure a lot of people on here can definitely talk a lot more technicals about it. Jimmy Song, he talks about it all the time with Tone Vase on a very high level since he's a developer. But I still think it's a far ways away from mass adoption. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I think the better route is, kind of like your iOS wallet. There's other, the Jax wallet, Exodus wallet. I think that's a lot easier to interact with people, peer-to-peer transactions. And
yeah,
you're
man.
Holding it. So
yeah,
cool.
Totally agree. And speaking of Exodus, actually, so I've been working with the Exodus developers now for the last sort of 7 or 8 weeks, and we've done some sort of some little back end changes here and there, and they're finally we're on Exodus wallet and out of beta. So yay!
Got it. Just in time for you to have your own Android wallet and iOS wallet.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of the timing, right? Like so we're.
And what kind of birds you got over there?
I'm sorry. Can you hear them in the background there? So I've got 2 little Indian ringnecks. And,
you got to bring one onto the stream. You got or they fly around.
No, we could always grab one of them. They're excitable. Yeah, we'll grab one later on. Why not?
We're just chilling on here tonight. A little bit of crypto's mixed in. Hopefully people can learn a little something.
Yeah, man.
You gotta smile a little bit. We're seeing a nice bounce here. Some green days. Todd had some good technical analysis. Pretty much from volume and Elliott Wave nailed every one of these price targets these past couple of days. So it's all good here in Learn Crypto community.
Yeah, I was having a bit of a look at some of his stuff, and he was basically just like, "Yep, take a bow." Like that's...
He does it in a humble way and does his thing.
That was great, though. Yeah, so it's been really cool to kind of see a little bit of a. It's funny because I don't know how much you see this, but we see it a lot in terms of so people's attitudes change as well. So they see a little bit of green, and they're just
yeah. And so that's why we try to tell people, the biggest thing that hurts your trades and your long-term investments is your emotions. If there's one red day, whether it's 5% or whatever, people just seem to get a little depressed. And you can really tell a difference when we're live too, just by the type of comments and whatnot. Yesterday we were live. Yeah. Everybody was joking around, having a good time. It doesn't matter that the market cap's still down, but just that we're seeing green, people are feeling good. Maybe they actually turned a quick profit or whatever, or their coin just came out with a new product. But it's good to see people smile and be happy. But you got to try to keep that happiness even in the down markets, because you got to realize what this whole cryptocurrency space is about. You know, it's a long-term goal of being your own bank, decentralized networks, getting rid of third parties. You know, that's still a ways away. Right now, it's still speculation, just fun, which is great. But it's more just like digital money, you know, having fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and so that's a really interesting one as well about the whole. Yeah, people's attitudes. It sucks when they see red most of the time. Like it's so funny, but yeah, like you say, it can be a challenge sometimes to keep that kind of that positive sort of a mental attitude. But you know, as long if you've been around for more than, you know, if you joined in December, then yeah, you're gonna be mad.
Even September, you know, everything was going up, and so once people get through a couple of these cycles, then they start to figure it out. Because I mean, even when after December, when we had that first major crash before like the little bull trap, people are like, "Oh, how are you guys so calm about this?" It's like, well, we've seen like 3 or 4 or 5 of these, so you know, it is what it is.
The year, like
it's like when in doubt, zoom out. Look how much we've gone up for the year. So
yeah, exactly. So it's interesting if you look back and you go, right. So from let's take the 1st of January 2017 to the 1st of January 2018. How much did stuff go up? It was a ton. Like, oh my goodness, it was a lot. So yeah, I mean, it is about perspective, but it's also, I mean, you've been around long enough to know better as well. So that's why you can just be like, it's fine. We've seen worse. Don't worry about it.
In the downtrends is really, you know, it's funny to me when in December everybody wanted to take out a mortgage to buy $16,000, $17,000 Bitcoin, but now 2 days ago everybody, you know, we had a record high in shorts, and at the same time saying, nope, these shorts are going to get wiped up. We're going higher. That's when we saw the bounce. But it's like everybody wants a record amount of shorts when we're at 6K. But, you know, 3 months ago, you wanted to buy it for 3 times the price. This is when you should be doing your research on coins you like, accumulate, mine, do whatever you want to do, and really make smart dollar cost average investments. You know, that's where the opportunity is at for the long haul. So, but that goes back to the mindset of people that you're talking about with the red in the market.
Yeah, it's so funny as well because I'm one of those idiots. I borrowed in December because I was like, you know what?
hey.
It's pre-Christmas. I believe in the project and everything like that. And then it happened and the value kept going up and up and up and up. And I was like, yes, this is great. I made good decisions. I am a good investor. Look at me. And then everything turned to custard and I'm like, damn, why? And so...
And then you saw the bounce with the bull trap. You're like, oh, I'm not that dumb. And then it went down again.
But so like it's hilarious as well because then the family is like, hey man, how's it going with your investment and stuff, Joe? And I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking I might just kind of gloss over the numbers a little bit and just.
I work in.
My long-term outlook is very strong. We'll stick with that.
I work for my day job is for an institutional financial advisor, and it was hilarious to see the type of people that would come to my desk. So when people found out that I kind of did dabble in this and mine and do YouTube or whatever, when it was going up and up, you have this certain subgroup of people that are like coming up like, oh, this is awesome, asking questions, wanting to get signed up on Coinbase. And then as soon as it started diving in December, you get the other subgroup of people who are, you know, we like to call them no coiners. They're like, oh, you sell that you did it. That's going to, you know, and I just laugh. I'm like, they're like, why do you waste your time every day to work another 4 hours to do YouTube? And it's like, first of all, I like talking about it. And second of all, I really believe in a lot of these projects and believe what cryptocurrencies, blockchain, smart contracts all means for the future. But it's just funny how the type of people that do that stuff.
I saw your tweet about no coiners and I was like, I can relate. I know. It's
and working in the traditional finance, and since we're institutional, you know, it's all big money. So those guys don't know anything about it. And right now they want nothing to do with it. You know, they're looking at, you know, traditional markets, hedge funds, private equity, real estate, normal stuff. So when they hear I deal with cryptos, they're like, you're not doing too much research here at work, are you? You know, we got to I'm like, no, never. I'm definitely not listening to something right now.
Yeah, I'm just going to put my headphones back in, and I swear I'm just listening to music, guys. It's not a podcast, don't worry.
Exactly. That's usually what the day-to-day is. Podcasts with the cryptos in the ear, traditional markets on the screen. Now, so I know that I don't want to get you in trouble, but I know that you've made comments about Verge and kind of what they had going on with the $75 million donation to do a partnership. And then they even tweeted out a couple days ago saying, which partnership will we choose? But it's like, I thought you guys already chose your partnership, and that's why you needed the 75 million coins. What do you mean, which partnership are we going to choose? I don't know if you saw that recent tweet, but that was
no. Where was that?
I think that was a couple days ago on their main thing. They might have got rid of it by now. Because a bunch of people were commenting the same thing, like, what do you mean? What do you mean we're choosing a partnership? I thought this was to solidify the partnership that is going to be the greatest one ever. I was just like, PR nightmare.
Yeah, so because originally I think it was supposed to be, they were like, right, what we're going to do is we'll announce, like, we need 75 million Verge, and then we will announce this partnership on the 30th of March. I think it was something like that. And then they changed it, and then they're like, actually, we're going to announce it on the 12th of March or something instead. I'm like,
they made an announcement to make another announcement, and they're saying it's going to be the best partnership ever. And I swear a couple days ago they had a picture, and it was like 5 people with their hands on puzzle pieces, and like, which partnership will we choose to lead Verge to the future or something. I was like, what? You guys said we needed that to solidify the partnership. But
yeah, so I thought they already had it picked, right? And so everyone's like, it must be Facebook or Google or Microsoft. Like, that's the only reason you'll ever need like 75 million Verge, right? How much is 75 million Verge worth? What's that? Let's have a quick look.
Now it's probably like $7.5 million.
Is it? Yeah, just under $7 million. Okay, I mean that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
For donations, yeah. I mean,
like,
and my biggest thing is like, if you guys got to know, if you're, a lot of these projects are either putting in a treasury or have plans for, for their fund or whatever for future development. It was just kind of, they were like, shit, we're out of money, but we need a partnership. Who's going to give it to us? Let's tell them it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and we'll get the money, and then we'll figure out a partnership later, is what it kind of looked like to me,
But isn't the point of a partnership that, like, so if let's say you and me, if I'm going to partner with LearnCrypto.io, right? Like, we're going to partner together. Usually it's something that's mutually beneficial, right?
Exactly.
Like, I don't have to like pay like $7 million for you to then go.
You're not giving me $500 to be on the show right now?
Yeah.
$500 a minute.
Yeah.
DigiByte through the new wallet, please. Thanks.
It's so funny. We get people contact us, and I'm not even kidding. They're like, hey, so we would like you to come on our YouTube channel, Joe. Okay. Yeah. All right, cool. By the way, that's going to be $1,500. What?
$1,500? Oh yeah, you're crazy.
Okay, so hang on 1 second. So this person approaches me and says, hi, I like what you're doing. I want you to be on my YouTube channel. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll come be on your YouTube channel. By the way, you've got to pay me $1,500. What? Why? So you're gonna like win from the ad revenue, and then you want me to pay $1,500 as well?
Yeah, no shit.
I don't have that kind of money. I'm not an ice. Like, we have nothing. So it's actually really funny because when we look at like the Verge and stuff, so they managed to raise $7 million. $7 million is respectable. That's
off of a whim, off of a tweet, really.
Yeah. Okay. But like, we've recently done some stuff. We asked for developers, so we've done our developer bounty and things, and that was really cool. We got a bunch, but I don't think. Hang on, let me have a look. If we compare DigiByte, I think we raised like 400,000 DigiByte. Yeah, 400,000 DigiByte. So we raised like 12 grand. That's $7 million.
And you guys have a pretty diehard community too. You guys have a pretty diehard, large community. But here's the thing: you didn't promise the world's greatest partnership ever. Dum dum dum.
Maybe that's my bad.
You got
rookie mistake, right? Like, I should have promised. Yeah, like,
you know how this works.
Greatest ever. I need to go away.
Also, guys, I know we're joking and laughing about Verge. I know the price is obviously going up, so you guys are probably like, "Oh, well, Nick, you're wrong because the price is continuing going up." Check out our previous live episodes. Todd has it in a parallel channel. He's been saying to follow it with the stop because he said that the price was going to continue to go up at least until the partnership occurs. So if you really want the technical analysis on the coins, check out that video.
That was a good video. I like that one too. I watched that one. It's
just so people know, like, hey, I'm fundamental, Todd's TA. So price advice, at least for short term, go to Todd. If you want to know the coins that might be around for a little bit, then I think it's important to look at the fundamentals.
Well, it's funny you mention that because I mean that whole mining issue with their network and their 5 algos and the 51%, and then the fact that they shit all over Supernova and they were trying to say it's actually not a problem, guys. And by the way, don't worry, even though we were hacked, it's not that bad.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They were able to take that situation and make that into a 20% positive spin. They came out with like a Medium post, said, hey, I know we had a hack, guys, but we were so fast at fixing it, and that's why we're awesome. And they were able to make it a positive spin, and this thing is continuing upward, and I really see it continuing upward until the partnership announcement. People probably expect Facebook. We're going to get like, I don't know. I don't even know what the part, pets.com, and it's going to retrace all the way back down. But how can they turn something so bad? Like, I should really be like taking notes. Like, okay, take notes on this because you guys are missing out.
We are. I need to make an announcement. Hey guys, we didn't get hacked yesterday. See the price go up 20%, right? Yeah. Like, I could do that every day of the week. Hey guys, we didn't get hacked again. Look at us. How can they take the fact that someone ran off with like, what was it? It was like 60 something million worth in Verge. It was 60 million Verge, so it was like 6 or 7 million. How can they make that a good thing?
The guy almost took as much as they got donated to the network.
Wow.
Wow. All right. Enough hammering on Verge. What else we got to talk about? What else we got?
We could hammer on about a bunch of things. We could talk about Litecoin and just. Hey,
I like Litecoin. The community likes Litecoin. All right.
I know it's really bad because a lot of people like Litecoin, but I don't.
That's fine. Hey, go ahead. We're just chilling. Tell me why you don't like Litecoin. Go for it. Now, granted, I know that you guys are pretty much the same thing. You guys claim to have better technology, which we kind of looked at with block times and other things.
Yeah.
I think really props Litecoin up is the Charlie Lee factor, the Coinbase factor, and they got more merchant adoption and trading pairs, which obviously is going to create liquidity on our network and therefore create price. But
yep, I think you absolutely nailed it there. And that's like, so we can't even be too mad, right? Because our code base forked from them. So, they're
indirectly they're successful. So, you guys are doing something right by forking from that chain.
Yeah. So we it's not specific. We forked from their code base. So it's 100% independent chain, our own Genesis block and everything. But even from the beginning, the creators and the founders and the developers basically looked at Litecoin and they're like, that's cool. We like what you're doing. We think you're on a better path than Bitcoin, but we think you don't take it quite far enough.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm still, everyone's like, yeah, it's going to be great. They're going to be a payment processor, but they have 2.5 minute block timings. And I don't really feel like sitting on a chair, like at the end of the supermarket till, right? Like after I bought my groceries.
That's funny that you said that. So I just got done right before this doing an interview with Edward from Bitcoin Gold. He's actually the director of communications over there. And they have a 10-minute block time. Now, he made one good point. He's like, well, for online purchases, the block time doesn't really matter that much because on the back end, they can say, hey, the order went through, and they can wait for the confirmations and still do same-day shipping, which I haven't really heard somebody put it that way, but that makes sense. Great.
Yep.
But then we started talking about, I was like, okay, well, what about merchants? And he's like, well, it's just a slight risk, a double spend. But to me, I think it's more than a slight risk, personally. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just,
how can it be a slight risk?
Really what I think, Bitcoin Gold, Vertcoin, Litecoin, if they're going to be used in the merchant day-to-day, they're really going to need some leaps and bounds in Lightning Network to take off, create some kind of usable application like James Lovejoy was talking about, which may be way down the road. Maybe a DigiByte or somebody else comes in here with mobile wallets. You guys can create some kind of Apple Pay system set up for mom and pop shops, and Lightning Network won't even be needed. But I mean, only time can tell.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a really interesting one because I'm a big fan still of watching and keeping up with the news, keeping up with the Kardashians, whatever, But at the same time, So I was watching an interview anyway with Charlie Lee, and he's having an interview with, who else was there? Samson, I think, and Ricardo as well from Monero.
Magical Crypto Friends?
Yeah.
Greatest channel ever. If you guys are not subscribed to Magical Crypto Friends, I don't know how they only have 10,000 subscribers. Probably because they only post one video every 2 months. But they're
cool.
Great.
So in their last one, it was really interesting as well because he talks a little bit about LightPay, and everybody, well, not everybody, I say everybody in the circles that I run in basically knew that LightPay was going to fall on its ass. Like we've seen all these other cards and things like that show up. Like we've seen Wirex and stuff.
You didn't help a brother out. Like I could have, made a little swing trade there.
I know.
Give me the developer insight.
I wasn't even on Twitter back then. That's my problem. It's my bad.
Yeah, Learn Crypto is gonna be mad at you too. They could have made a little swing trade.
Yeah.
Blame your lost funds on Litecoin on Josiah, guys.
It's all my fault. I should have warned everybody. But I was having a joke with my mates, and at the time, I held up, I was like, I got a Wirex card, and I got this other. I held up 3 different credit cards. Not one of them freaking worked. They were all you can use it with Bitcoin and Litecoin, and I think all 3 could be DigiByte. It might have just been 2. Even with DigiByte, you could use them. Right, and that's basically what LightPay was. It's a credit card that you can use. And so he's like, well, we should have seen the writing on the wall a bit more. I'm like, you think? We've got all of these guys, but no, whatever LightPay have done, they've done differently, and they're going to succeed because, it's not the, dozen whatever time that somebody's tried to basically do a crypto credit card. That's never been done before.
Yeah.
But
no, at least they did make the smart decision because apparently that guy came to the Litecoin Foundation asking for more funds, and Charlie put the X-nay on that. So at least they're smart enough to do that.
I agree.
He named a couple of other companies that are working on more payment channels for Litecoin as well. So he had a little bit of a positive spin. But he did sell his Litecoin at the very tippy top. No, guys, he really didn't though. He came out and showed the fact that he showed sold 25% of the time, not at the tippy top. But it is a pretty funny joke. Even he makes fun of himself for it.
Yeah, I sold 25% when it was only 90% of the way there, right? We were still riding that hype train for freaking oh my goodness. But so one of the things he talks about in that Magical Crypto Friends is actually really cool. And even he basically says that this is a bit of a stopgap measure, right? So in an ideal scenario, if I want to go somewhere and I want to buy something, I shouldn't have to use a credit card because the merchant's still paying the fees. Mm-hmm. And I'm still then having to take my, let's say, Litecoin or DigiByte or Bitcoin and then convert that, or I've basically got to buy it first of all. So I get paid in fiat. I take my fiat currency and I buy the Litecoin. I take the Litecoin and the Litecoin then gets converted back to fiat, and then they got to pay the point. What's the point? So
really, that's why I really think for merchant adoption. I mean, obviously you guys get the iOS wallets. Maybe there's a way that you can scan QR codes in stores. But I think if there's some way to integrate some kind of Apple Pay system where it automatically pairs up with the wallet, can take the DigiByte or the Litecoin or the Vertcoin or whatever. Sorry, guys, I'm using DigiByte as an example because Josiah's here. But really, any coin, whoever can create it is probably going to be successful in doing so. It just needs to go from crypto to crypto, and the stores need to accept that crypto, not have it put on a credit card for fiat for them to get fiat. That's kind of defeats the purpose. But
well, so one of the things that we're looking at is basically a way that you can not only, so this comes back to the DigiID. So we want you to basically be able to authenticate with your wallet and to be able to log in. So let's say you going to, we'll pick Amazon. I don't want people to run off and go, they're partnering with Amazon. It's not what I'm saying. But in this hypothetical scenario, you log into Amazon, right? You basically, you'll have the QR code on your computer screen and you'll scan it with your cell phone and you're logged in. Poof, you're good to go. You can then pay also with DigiByte. So again, you've already got your DigiByte there. You basically just, we're working on a whole bunch of plugins and things for a lot of things like, say, Shopify and WooCommerce and Zencart maybe, and a whole bunch of things like that. So that's going to be the idea, is that you not only log in, but you also pay with your DigiByte. And in an ideal scenario, people would keep it as DigiByte. There's a few things out there already, like CoinGate, which you can use, which will allow you to pay in DigiByte and it will pay the merchant, which is effectively the same thing as a credit card, but without But in an ideal scenario, that's what we would like to see, is basically people will authenticate with DigiID, prove that they are themselves, nice and secure, using the same cryptographic technology that keeps your coins for basically most blockchains secure, DigiByte specifically, of course, but and then so using that same security to then pay for stuff, like that's the end game. And so I think what we've done with DigiByte is we've kind of gone, let's not kind of like this is where we are, and then you've got your stepping stone, right, which is paying a little bit with credit card. Like let's go for the freaking like the end game here. Like never one to shy away from an honest challenge, right?
Now, I do have kind of a question. How in depth do you think that the DigiID will eventually go? Now, at first you're saying for like online whatever for logins. Do you think it can be, because the ID space for crypto and blockchain technology kind of interests me as far as like what Civic has been trying to do. You've seen all these hacks happening where people lose their data or lose their social, lose all that. Do you think DigiID would ever maybe get to the point where they're my driver's license will be integrated in it or whatever, to where it's like, hey, I can maybe use DigiID as my passport, kind of like what Civic has kind of been talking about now for a couple of years?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously...
that's ways away, but I don't know if you guys have been thinking about that or not. I don't know.
Yeah, very much so. And so it's not just going to be about you go to a website and you want to sign in to Amazon and you scan your QR code. And just for the record as well, if you've got it on your cell phone and you open up the Amazon website in like Chrome or Safari, if you tap on the QR code, it'll then fire up the wallet as well. So you can still, it works on cell phones, it works on PCs and stuff like that. But what I think would be really cool though is, let's say you're going into a big office building, right? And all too often you see like people have got their swipe cards. Swipe cards get lost and they get stolen and things like that. And basically all that you're proving is that you hold that swipe card, which is logged in. So instead of having a swipe card, it would be better if you have a DigiID. So there would just be like a little like screen on your, like, I mean, they could even repurpose a freaking cell phone for a week here, right? But the theory is there will be a QR code generated and you'll basically then you'll hold up your cell phone and you'll go, boop, and that will then authenticate and go, oh yeah, cool. You're allowed through, and through the door you go.
So what would be the initial protection on the DigiID then? Would it be similar to what your iOS wallet is, maybe a 6-digit PIN or a thumbprint or?
Yep,
okay.
Both of those. So the idea being like you trust the wallet enough to keep your life savings in there. You can remotely wipe your phone if you happen to lose it, so that's completely cool. You lose your phone, you've got your PIN on the main screen, so you've got a Touch ID to unlock that, and then again to get into the wallet, the same deal. You Touch ID or punch in your PIN, or on Android use your fingerprint, thumbprint, whatever. And so that's also, we've got that second factor of authentication because it is something that you physically are holding. It's confirming that you've got the device, not that somebody else has basically just gone and managed to mirror your thumbprint, really. So all things considered, it is infinitely more secure than a username and a password, which can be lost, forgotten, stolen, forged even.
You kind of mentioned it before too, I think in the interview. It's like, how many people out there reuse the same password?
I used to all the time. What a rookie mistake. Oh my goodness. So it was so funny. I get a message.
Fails, you guys are in trouble.
Yeah. Don't ever reuse your password. It's so funny. So I get a message from my brother-in-law, and he says to me, he's like, yo, why are you sending me all these links on Skype? I didn't know that you use Skype. And I'm like, I forgot I had a Skype account. He's like, yeah, remember you added me like 2 years ago or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. He's like, yes, you're sending me all these, why are you sending me these links? And I'm like, but I'm not. Anyway, long story short, so if you go to that haveibeenpwned.com, it turns out that it was from yeah, honestly, so look it up. It's freaking cool, right? So if I go there, I've been pwned on a lot of websites, and I think it was one of the Android forums. Have I been pwned? Right, so if I check my email address in here, let me see how many I've been pwned by. A lot. Zomato.
What does being pwned mean here? Explain to everybody.
Yeah, so this is really cool, right? So I've got let's look at Zomato or Kickstarter or Discuss.
I got told, good news, no pwnage was found.
Nice. Okay. So you're lucky, right? Like, because basically this means, so if let's take Kickstarter, for example. So back in February of 2014, Kickstarter got hacked. This means that the hackers ran off with the usernames and the passwords. So if I'd reused that same password elsewhere, which I did because I was an idiot, that means, right, like, so if you go, I know Joe's email address and his password, I'm going to go and try that and see if I can log into Skype with it. Oh, look, I can log into Skype with it. All of a sudden, you are now me because you got my username and my password from some other website because I was an idiot and I reused my password.
How many people do you think right now that they're watching this, including myself, are changing passwords on multiple exchanges, multiple Facebook? Everybody's changing their password.
Right, and so that's actually a really interesting one as well, because I'll give you a little bit of history about DigiByte. So back in the day when we first started DigiByte, there was a particular pool that started up and people were signing up and they were mining on this particular pool. Now, people are stupid. And I say this and I paint myself with that same brush because I'm an idiot too and I used to use the same password. So these people, they used the same password on this particular pool that was starting up with DigiByte. It wasn't us, it was some random person from the forums, right? And so he's gone and he started up this pool. He's like, hey, jump on and start mining DigiByte. So he does. People then, they use the same email address, the same password, and the same PIN number.
Wow.
And so this rogue pool operator then takes all of that data and just starts siphoning out their DigiByte and their Litecoin and stuff off other pools as well because people are stupid, myself included, right? Like, I reused my password, so that didn't affect me back in the day, but it's a good lesson to learn that you can't reuse a password. The reason that DigiID is different is because the remote party, the mining pool or Kickstarter or LinkedIn, they would never have a password. So all that you're doing is a one-time, like a verification to go, yes, you basically, so I'll sum it up really quickly just in case you've got a couple of non-techie people watching. So you go to the website basically says, this is your session. You are, you've opened up the website at this time and who the hell are you, basically? So what you do is you take that unique, it's called a unique identifier. We'll basically call it X, like you find X in high school sort of thing, like figure out X.
Back to algebra.
Yeah, exactly. But there's letters and a lot more letters and numbers now than just X. And so
we're keeping it non-techie here, Josiah. Come on.
Yeah.
Get to the point.
So you take your cell phone, basically the the DigiByte wallet signs in with DigiID. It takes that number, runs it through a whole lot of math, and then sends the result of that math back to the website. And the website goes, yep, that math checks out. You are Nick. We'll let you sign in as Nick. They don't, there's no password, there's no username, there's no specifically, you don't even have to have an email address to remember. So let's say that Kickstarter get hacked again, but they've been using DigiID. Well, first of all, they're not going to be able to run off with your username. They're not going to be able to run off with your password. And they can't then basically take your public address and go and try and use it elsewhere.
Yeah, all they're really going to know is your public address or your name. And that just means you've been to the website. That's it. And
that's it. That's amazing for security.
And if you're on a website that people can't know that you're on, you probably shouldn't be on that website.
Well, is that America's dating something online? What was that one? It got hacked as well. That was hilarious. But so even because Sony got hacked with the PlayStation Network and stuff as well back in the day, and people's usernames and passwords and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if that didn't matter. If Sony just been, sorry guys, we got hacked, but by the way, they didn't actually get anything.
All they know is that you play PlayStation 4.
Yeah. Well, whoop-de-doo. All of a sudden, what's the incentive to try and hack a website?
Yeah.
What are they going to get out of it? So we're addressing a lot of the fundamental security issues with the internet here. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And so we're making it more secure for users. We're making it faster. It's easier to sign in with your phone. So you can literally just, boop, and that's it. You're done. The whole process takes seconds. I think my entire video where I intentionally go slow is 12 seconds long, sort of thing. So it's, yeah. I should really actually do one and explain like what the hell I'm doing.
And I know you just first of all, guys, I'm sure I'll tweet about this and Josiah will retweet it so you can follow him if you're interested in DigiByte or what he does. Also, I know you started doing some live streams. What is the name of your channel?
Wow,
I was trying to give you the shameless plug.
I should know.
Well, you better remember the name of me and Todd's Learn Crypto. You can give us the shameless plug.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look for me on Twitter, so I'm DGB_Chillin, or if you look me up on YouTube, I'm pretty sure I'm Josiah DigiByte Foundation, something like that. Yeah.
Trying to be more professional on the YouTube.
How terrible is that? I don't even know my own channel. I copy and paste the links, right? Like,
you're just like copy paste, whatever.
I have the worst memory, dude. Honestly, it wasn't until like I think it was yesterday or something, and I'm like, oh snap, that's right. I'm doing the interview with Nick tomorrow. I was like, oh, have I doubled? I don't think I've doubled. I'm checking the time zones and things. I'm like, nope, we're cool. Calendar reminder pops up, and then I was like, okay, we're safe.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I'm doing a live stream tomorrow as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about DigiID, but we're also going to talk about decentralization. And
there you go, guys. If you want to learn a little bit about decentralization or get a more serious look at DigiByte over there, make sure to check that out.
So
what else are we going to talk about before we end this? Because I got to go home and eat or something. I got to do something.
So what time is it over there for you at the moment?
It is 7:40. So I've been at work since 7, came here, did the interview with Bitcoin Gold, which, guys, I don't know if I'm going to post this first or that first. So if I haven't posted it yet, that's coming. And then I plan on going home. I just got a new Split King at home with the adjustable base. About to pop up some PS4, no cryptos for the rest of the night. And then it starts over again first thing right when I wake up, going to check the charts and doing all that.
So do you have like, let's talk about like your rituals. Do you like before bed or whatever, or in the morning, do you wake up and you're like, let's check the charts or let's check my Twitter and stuff like, do you have any kind of like
Yeah, so, I mean, I try to wind down whenever I'm going to wind down. I have some notifications on my phone if prices do certain things. Todd watches that more because we do have a crypto private client group, guys, where we help manage your funds with trading APIs. We do that. So Todd is like 24/7 on the charts. Usually right before I go to bed, it's check the Twitter because I get a lot of the questions, fundamental questions. How do I collect this airdrop? This and that. He gets a lot of the clients asking him about trades or asking if he'll trade something or whatnot. So before I go to bed, my most important thing is Twitter. But right when I wake up, before I go to work, I go to my computer, check the charts. I got 3 screens going. I got 1 gaming computer and then 2 work computers, a big U around me. Check the charts, do what I need to do. If I see something, a lot of volume or something going on, let Todd know or whatever. And then I get dressed, run downstairs, make sure my mining rigs are still running, still collecting those coins. And then off to work, off to YouTube, doing all that. So
tell us, what is it you're mining? Or you're not allowed to tell us what I'm mining things, but.
Mining things.
Yeah.
Right now I'm actually on half of my rigs, I'm doing Ubic. I'm doing Ubic only because I've kind of done it here and there in the past. I think it's an interesting protocol. They're trying to be like almost like a stable Ethereum, try to offer an opportunity for companies that really need a stable environment now. And they also have that Escher airdrop coming where it's a 12-to-1 ratio. And so if every 1 Ubic you get 12 Escher. And they're using that as their governance token. So they're building it out as a governance token. And then they said there's possible – I just did an interview with him if you want to watch that after this with Alex Sturck. Posted it yesterday. And then he started talking about some other use cases that Escher may have in the future. And I was like, hey, is it going to be on an exchange? And he's like, no, we just want to kind of have utility functions within Ubic and all their new projects and this and that and governance. So that's kind of cool. They're not really – at first I was worried like, oh, it's just this a money grab. But it really seems like they're kind of creating this because they have projects on the horizon that they're not really making public yet, in my opinion. So
yeah, nice. That seems like a cool way of like looking after and I suppose kind of managing the network and the direction if you're like the utility side of it.
And then I guess the other half, currently I'm doing Zcash usually. I have NVIDIA cards, so it's kind of I don't really keep the Zcash. We've talked about this on the show. Personally, for privacy coins, I'm not that big of a fan for Zcash. Privacy features can be turned on and off, which some people argue with regulation you might need. But currently on their network, like 3.5% of their transactions or something, don't quote that percentage, guys, is private. So that's not really even a privacy currency anymore. Also, I don't like that they have the 20% of everything mined. All the block rewards go to the treasury. I think that's a little high as well. Yeah. So usually I just do it because it's most profitable, and then I can trade that, I did after the DigiByte interview. I traded a little bit for DigiByte. Recently,
And now we're on Exodus, so you can do it again. Hey, let me see how it.
Easy swaps. And then also, I've been really bullish on Zencash, privacy coin. And I kind of asked, how are you guys going to differentiate yourselves? And they have all these projects that they're working on with IOHK. And on all these platforms they're creating, you actually need Zen to interact with them, creating a nice value proposition. And they got the on-off privacy functions, but it's going to be kind of more of the standard, and you can choose to go public if you would like, kind of thing. Versus Zcash and some of these other ones are kind of the opposite. It's like, oh, you want this to be a privacy coin, you got to have some tech knowledge to switch it on. You know, it's like that kind of defeats the purpose. But
yeah, the opt-in privacy. Yeah, I think you did an interview with the Zencash guy, was it?
Yeah, Rob Biglione. So he actually made an announcement about Zen Grid and Supernodes live, or not live, but in the pre-recorded interview before they even made a public announcement. So it took a couple days for Rob to actually get Zencash official to like retweet the video. They officially didn't make it public. And I was trying to tell people like in the show, like, hey guys, we're not a shilling channel, nor are we really trying to give financial advice unless you're a personal client. That kind of kept being like, guys, listen to what he is saying. Go watch the interview, make your own decision. Because subsequently we've doubled since then. You know, in 2 weeks it's done nothing but go up. It's like, you guys had an opportunity there. Could add a super node or a secure node or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting as well. Yeah, like so with Zcash's problems though, dude. Like, do you use Flypool?
I think I'm using Nanopool right now.
Oh yeah, nice, good. Because I was looking at Zcash as well. So Flypool make up almost 70% of the mining power. 70%. And the really messed up thing was when I was doing some like numbers and things like that for a friend of mine, I realized that he was being shortchanged by like 30% of what he should have been earning.
Wow.
So I'm going, what the heck is happening?
And they take like 20% for the founder's fee or whatever too, or whatever they call it, which is kind of crazy.
Well, but I mean, if it makes you money, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, the GPU mineable, you're creating the decentralized holders, but as far as the pools, that's kind of a very centralized coin. If you want, you got to differentiate between that. Like, yes, GPU mineable, you're going to have a decentralized network because you got a bunch of holders, anybody can mine it. But then if you break it down to pool and they own 70% of the hash, what happens if the pool shuts down for a day or something? Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Well, but
yeah, so like if they were to shut down for a day, hypothetically, let's say they forgot to renew their domain name and somebody else snapped it up, right? Like, so all of a sudden, Flypool is down, not coming back. The transaction times would take forever.
And you'd be having everybody fighting over the fee on there, and it would just escalate up and
it would be terrible. But yeah, 70%, like that's enough for them. What can you do with 70% of the network hash rate?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so avoid Flypool. If anybody out there is mining on Flypool for Zcash, please do the right thing.
Switch to a smaller pool. The rewards kind of all end up equaling out the same, and they're going to take 20% anyways. But imagine the profitability I could be having if they didn't take that 20%.
It would be great.
The video cards, guys, you can go to whattomine.com and you can type in what cards you have, and it kind of does algorithms for you to see what's most profitable on a daily basis minus electricity cost. And Zcash is always towards the top. That's usually why I just stick with it. I'm locked in. I let it do its thing, and then I can evaluate Zcash on the daily if I want to swap it out for something else, which I usually do. If I would swap it out for another large cap privacy coin, I usually go with Monero. Some people have their complaints about Monero saying, hey, when regulation comes, since it is truly private, might have some issues. It's like, well, that's kind of the reason that you have Monero is to avoid regulation. So, I mean,
and that's the thing is they're not like the whole kind of opt-in like with Zcash, right? Like, so Zcash is basically, if you would like to be, it's going to be a pain in the ass for you to be private, but you can be. So I kind of like,
if you choose to be private, everybody else on the network isn't using private transactions, so therefore we can piece the puzzle pieces together with the rich list, and your privacy probably wasn't really private anyways. But
it's funny.
I like Fluffy Pony. They're constantly working on something.
He's a good dude.
If you look up the Monero rich list, it just says, are you serious? Or it says something funny like that, like, no, we're truly private. They don't have a rich list, So Is
Well,
what it is.
he makes up an interesting point. Sorry, not makes up. He makes an interesting point about Zcash in that a lot of wallets will support it, but a lot of the wallets don't even support the Z addresses, the private addresses. So if you want it to be private, you can't even use it on your freaking wallet, right? Like, it's funny. Hopefully, we'll end up seeing DigiByte being one of the higher value to mine coins. So we're looking at a bunch of things. So we're looking at the algo swap later on in the year. So potentially Kryptonite, especially now that they've gone and forked Kryptonite is a V7, I think, is something that we're potentially looking at. We've been looking at Lyra 2 RE version 2. We've been looking at
Lyra 2 is what Vercoin created that algorithm, right?
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's cool because these guys have got a lot of different. They're basically they're GPU friendly and ASIC resistant. I mean, nothing's truly ASIC resistant as we've even seen with Kryptonite, but it's not like it's difficult for these guys now. The Monero team have been pretty active, and it's really cool. So props to them because they've gone and taken Kryptonite and gone, we're not about to embrace the ASICs just yet. So let's.
And it seems like they're going to have full consensus to switch over, so you might not really have the Monero Classic issue or whatever they might call it, because it seems like most people are going to just abandon that chain, follow with the actual Monero new chain to avoid ASICs, and move forward. Now, doesn't mean there's not going to be some money-hungry guy who might do it, but as of now, Fluffy Pony says no real developers are going to stay on that network. So
yeah, so it's a good network. So what's the point, right? Like you're basically you've got a doorstop if you've gone and bought one of those. No, I mean there's still what was that? There's another Electronium, I think. Are they changing, or are they still the older Kryptonite that's ASIC mineable now?
I don't remember. I think that was kind of the problem. I think they're going to be changing. I think they're trying to patent something. I don't remember what's going on with Electronium. All I know is Electronium and the Weiss ratings or whatever it was got like an E-.
Oh, did it really? I haven't seen the latest ones. How did we look? Did we?
You're still in the same area. This one they came out with was the 12 worst cryptos.
Oh, really?
And what's crazy is, like, I'm not saying Electronium is one of the 12 worst cryptos, but you have all these no-name coins, and then they threw in like Electronium, which has a pretty big community, Rise, and a couple of these other ones that have a big community. So it's kind of like, those are kind of odd. Out of the 1,600 coins, those are the 12 worst, even though they're in the top 100. That doesn't make sense. But, I did do a review on Electronium if you guys want to watch it, have some pros, cons, and give an overview. Interesting on what they're trying to do. I think them approaching the mass adoption really helps crypto in general as well as themselves. But the mining app was, in my opinion, overhyped, underdelivered. I think it's like, the profitability is ridiculously low on there. But nonetheless, it's a good idea because everybody's got a smartphone. And if you just gradually get people into cryptos, I guess their plan is get them in with a little Electronium, and then maybe they make the jump, get on exchanges, and start participating on the network in the future. So we'll see. And if you guys are Electronium fans, tell Richard I'll do an interview with him. I have no problem doing that. I love to hear their opinion on it. I just present the facts, and if they're willing to come on and talk about it, awesome.
Yeah, man, that was cool. I love the video as well that you did for us, and I think the cool thing as well is there was, like, you didn't ask us for any feedback, and so I want to kind of reiterate this to your viewers and the watchers, is that there was no we didn't pay you any money to do the review or anything, so it was your completely unbiased and unfiltered opinion on whatever you thought about the coin. And so I thought that was really cool that you've got that integrity as well there. So I like that. I think that's really cool.
We try to present that because we get people ask about that, and it's like, I mean, if I get something, I'm the first one to tell you, and usually we try to give some of that back to the community, and I like to do the reviews before any interview, so that way I don't have a bias. I don't create a personal relationship with anybody. I want to give an overview. I want to give some pros, some cons, some red flags, and then allow people to comment in the comment section or get a founder or get you or whoever to kind of address those concerns, and the community can kind of take that the way you guys react to it and make whatever decision they want to make. So
yeah, man.
I think it's great. We got so many guys now on YouTube and Twitter that are just chilling, and I don't want to see anybody lose money. Yeah, exactly. What's up? Like, I don't, and I hate when people lose the money, but I just try to do everything we can to get the word out and help as many people as possible. That's it.
Yeah, man. Like, so a rising tide lifts all boats, right? Like, you can still be profitable and not get involved in the scams and things like that. And so it's,
Yep. Because pumps and people are like, oh, pumps and dumps, you can make a lot of money. Yeah, but for every person making the money, there's the equal person losing the money on the opposite side.
Yep.
You know, so when the people who are running the pump and dump will say, hey, we're riding this to $3, they're selling at $2.50. They're making sure they get 100% of their profits out. And you're going to be sitting there stressed. You're going to take losses, take winners, whatever it is, but it's not the game you want to play. Get the fundamentals in these coins and get the coins you believe in, really. So
yeah, man,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree.
Now, I got one more before we get out of here. I want to put you on the spot. Let's see what you come up with. What do you think is a doo-doo coin in this ecosystem that has too many followers, too many red flags, and people should just sell right now to buy Bitcoin, but really you're probably going to say buy DigiByte?
They can buy Bitcoin. No, because if I say this, then no one's gonna listen to me again. You're gonna lose subscribers and things, and I'm gonna piss off everybody.
All right, don't say it. Don't say it. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. If there was one that I thought was overhyped lately, it's Litecoin.
Oh,
I'm gonna get so much burned.
We're hanging up. We're never talking to Bitcoin again ever.
I don't know. I can't dig it. It just doesn't gel for me. And everyone's like, oh, it's so funny. I'm talking with somebody earlier on today, right? And she's like, you're just mad because you weren't there when it was down at like, $5. I'm like, yeah, I was mining it. I had it, like, whatever. And then I saw something better come along. So I don't know. I feel like they're my quick 10-second argument is I think they're not rare enough to be a store of value like Bitcoin, but they're not fast enough to be a transactional currency. And everyone's going to say, yeah, but what about the credit cards and what about Lightning? Well, they're not here at the moment, are they? And so, yeah, that's my 2 cents. So I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but that's.
This just proves, guys, that we had no idea what we were going to talk about, nor are me and Josiah doing any kind of shilling for DigiByte, because I still think Litecoin is, from an investment standpoint, maybe a speculation standpoint, is still one of the best risk-to-reward coins available. Do your own research. This is not financial advice, and neither of us know anything about cryptocurrencies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is it's probably still a really good investment. I still don't like the project myself, so whatever. I'm gonna earn a lot of hate, but whatever.
Is what it is.
Put me on the spot and look at what I've done.
Hey, hey, that's the honesty coming through. This isn't an interview or a live show. This is Chillin with DGB Chillin, Josiah Spackman, unedited, unplanned. We had no idea what we're talking about. I think we're about to wrap it up. Josiah, you have anything you want to say before we head out of here?
No, if I say anything more, I'm going to put my foot in my mouth. It's not going to.
We'll see what the reception is. We'll probably have to do this again, guys. It's nice just to do a video lighthearted, We try to present the facts, sometimes get a little too serious. So
it's good a bit of a round table, a bit of banter, a bit of laughter.
And none of it's planned, so we have no idea what's going to come out next time. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to see me and Josiah BS about DigiByte and everything else crypto some other time. Make sure to check out the technical analysis if you're on the investment side. And don't forget to tune in to Learn Crypto.